Yeah, yeah. So today we are going to start our project Random GIF Generator. As you can see, this itself is the GIF. So yeah, let's know about a project. What is this project all about? So it is a Random GIF Generator app which displays both random GIF along with the random GIF for some specific input like cats, dogs, etc. So here, basically in this web app, we are displaying random GIFs along with a specific type of GIF, or you can say a specific class of GIF, by providing the type that we want for the GIF to be, like cats, dogs, giraffe, anything. We can write anything, and it will just show a random GIF regarding that thing, and we can also change the GIF by clicking on the button. And basically we are creating a app that displays random GIF along with random GIS for some specific type of query that you have passed. So it uses the API's JSON data to fetch the API and display them on the web app's homepage. So yeah, we are using an API, and we will be using this API to grab the data from that API and use that inside our web app. The technologies that we are using is React.js, CSS, React hooks, Axios, async, and async await. So let's go into that. React.js. So React.js is an open source library, JavaScript library that is used for building user interfaces specifically for single page applications, and it's used for handling the view layer for web and mobile apps. React also allows us to create reusable UI components. So React.js is JavaScript library, and it provides us a feature of creating components. So with the help of components, we can build many sophisticated web apps, and that can be reused again and again in the project. So the React.js proves to be very helpful in building front end and basic website for any for regarding anything like. Now the next thing that we will be using in our project will be CSS, and it is a designing tool, and this language is used to describe the presentation of a document written in HTML or XML subheading. And CSS describes how elements should be rendered on screen, on paper, in speech, or in other media. So basically, CSS in our project also will be using to design our web app and set the size of the images, GIFs, give animation effects to the buttons, and have different functionalities like giving giving a heading of some font family, a size, maybe the font can be bold, lighter, anything. Like basically the designing part is done with the help of CSS. Now the next is React hooks. So hooks are a new addition in React 16.8, and they let you use state and other React features without writing a class. So after the React after the older versions, in the latest React 16.8 version, the hooks were introduced, and they proved to be very helpful, as it made creating projects very easy without using any classes and just by using the state of a variable. So here in our project also we'll be using two types of hooks, useState and useEffect. Now, what is useState hook? So a useState is a hook that allows you to have state variables in functional components, and React has two types of components. One is class component, which are ES6 classes that extend from React, and the other is functional component. So useState hook is this only. The next is useEffect hook. So when we want to perform something after each render of component, then we can use this useEffect hook. By using this hook, we can tell React that our components needs to do something after render by passing a function. And by default, useEffect hook runs after the first render and after every update. So this thing happens particularly when we provide an empty dependency array for a useEffect hook. The next is Axios. So in our project, we'll be using Axios for fetching the data from the API. Basically, so the next is Axios, and in Axios, basically Axios is a library that serves to create HTTP requests that are present externally. And here in our project, we will look into only the Axios.get function, because Axios.get function will be used to fetch the data from an API, and we need not use any other HTTP functions like post, put, or delete. We are just concerned with getting the data from the API, so we'll just use Axios.get. Next is async await. So Async await is an extension of promises which we get as a support in the language. Since here we are dealing with API, so we will automatically be working with asynchronous JavaScript. I will be using this. So async await, in our async await basically returns a promise, and it helps us to deal with asynchronous JavaScript much easier because of this async await keywords. And we will see and look into the async await functionality deeper and more deeply at the working stage of our project. So yeah, let's start with the project from the next video. Yeah, so today let's start building the project, and for that, first of all, we need to create our development environment. And for that, we'll open our Visual Studio Code and press Ctrl Shift and backticks. This is a shortcut for opening the terminal. And now inside the terminal, we will write the commands npx create react app and the name of the app that we want to create. So yeah, so let's write the command npx. So let's write the command npx create react app, and let's give it a name of GIF Generator App. We'll press enter, and now this will automatically create a folder of the name GIF Generator App inside our C folder, inside users, and inside the users folder, particularly inside the Ishan folder. It will create a GIF Generator App folder of the name this GIF Generator App, and that will be basically a React app, and it will take some time for creation. Like you can see here, it is written creating a new React app, so it will take some time. So yeah, let's wait until then. And so it's installing the packages and React DOM, React scripts, and other important files for our React app, for the functionality of our React app. So yeah, let's wait until then. Yeah, so now our application has been created. So we'll like go to our folder where we have created the app, and for that we'll open the file. And then we'll go to our open folder. Now we will go and select our project, that was GIF Generator App. So I'll select this folder, and now our GIF Generator App will be opened. Yeah, so now we'll open the source folder, and inside that we need to make a couple of changes. So first of all, we'll delete logo.svg along with index.css and report web vitals along with app.test.js. These 4 files we need to delete, so let's delete them. Move to recycle bin. Yeah, after this, first of all, let's open our terminal with Ctrl Shift and backticks, and we'll run the command npm start. As soon as we run this command, the package.json file will run this React script starts, which was basically inside the scripts part, and the start was basically pointing to React scripts start. So whenever we write npm start, it will automatically run this React scripts, and this is basically concerned with running our application, basically integrating all the files and using the functionality of all the files together for the React app to function at a time. So it will take some time, so we'll wait for a few minutes. Yeah, so now our app has opened, and there are some errors. As you can see, there are 3 errors, and even if you go to our browser, we can find the 3 errors. So what are these errors? First of all, we need to go to our index.js file, and inside this index.js file, we need to remove this report web vitals. That we do not want, and we can also remove this comments as they are not required. Other than that, we will also remove this import statement that is having report web vitals along with index.css. Now we will save this, and some of the errors will be gone. Only one error is present. So what is that error? So we'll go to app.js file, and inside this we'll remove this import logo.svg from this app.js file. Along with that, we'll remove this whole div, whole header part from our app component, and inside this we'll just give it a h1 tag that is hello maybe, and then we'll save this. Now when we go to our browser and we refresh maybe, yeah, so now you can see hello written in our home page, basically the browser. So first of all, we'll go to our app.css file and remove this styling. Because of this styling, basically this dot app component app class name having the text align center, all of our text is automatically aligned to the center, so we do not want that. We'll just remove this whole and save it. And before doing anything else, we'll target all the elements and give it a margin of 0 along with a padding of again 0, and we'll save this. Now in our browser we can see hello at the top left corner. So yeah, our React application is responding perfectly, and now we need to set up some components. We need to create some components, and for that we can go to our app.js file, and here we will import some of the components that we are going to create. So for that we'll create a new file in the source folder with the name header.js, and inside this we will write RAFCE and press enter. It will automatically write all the boilerplate code, and inside this header component we will give basically give it a class name of header, HEADER, and inside this header component we will give an h1 tag, and inside this h1 tag we will write random GIF generator, and as soon as we save it, we can see currently there is nothing shown in the home page because we haven't imported this header component inside our app.js file. So for that, inside our app.js file we'll import header from header, and it will automatically get called, and other inside this app component will just call our header component. And now when we save it, we can see random GIF generator present in our browser. Basically that component is being called inside our app.js file, and this app.js file is being rendered inside this index.js file by the function of react-dom.render. And here you can see app component is being rendered by the by the root ID. Yeah, so other than that, we can also go to our public folder inside which we have a file with the name index.html, and here inside our title tag we can remove this and give it our app name like GIF app, and when we save it, we go to a browser, we can see even our browser will have the GIF app written on the name of the browser. So next, so next that we are going to do is we are going to create one more function, one more basically file of the name footer. Sorry, let's close this first, and then we'll create one more file with the name footer.js, and again inside of this we'll write RAFC, give it this div a class name of footer, and inside this we'll just give a h3 tag of credits, maybe Ishan, anything, whatever you want to write you can give for the footer Ishan. Yeah, and now we will save it. We'll close index.html, and inside our app.js file we'll call this footer from footer folder, and we'll call footer sorry f. Yeah, now when we save it, yeah, it's compiling. Yeah, so we can see in our browser we have both random GIF generator along with credits Ishan. Yeah, so our app is working fine. So in the next video, we will dive directly inside the functionality of our program, basically our functionality of our project. Yeah. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we will be using an API for the random GIF generator, and that we can find on this developers.giphy.com, and inside this you need to create your account, and then when you go to a create app you will have two options, either SDK or API. You need to select your API. You need to select the API option and then do the next steps, and it will basically ask you for your app name and app description and all, and after that it will automatically get created, and it will provide you with an API key along with a GIF generator. So now we'll go to our Visual Studio Code, our code editor, and then inside our source file we'll create one file of the name. Yeah, we'll go inside our source file folder, and we'll create a new file of the name random.js for the random GIFs, and along with that we'll create one more file of the name tag.js. These two files we will create. So now currently inside our random.js there is nothing present. So first of all, let's do refc and give this div an h1 tag of random component, and we'll give this div a class name of random, and we'll save it, and we'll basically put this h1 tag inside the div. Yeah, now we'll save it, and we'll do the same for tag.js also. We'll write refce and then press enter. Give this tag a class name of tag, and inside this we'll give it a h1 tag of tag component. We'll save this again, and now we'll go to our app.js file. Yeah, so inside our app.js file, other than this header and footer, we'll create one more div of the class name, maybe main component or main div, and inside this main div we will have both of the random and tag.js files. So let's call them first of all, without before calling them we need to import them. So for that, import random from random, and sorry, and now import tag from tag. Yeah, now we will call these two components random and along with tag. Now when we save this, when we go to our browser, we can see all the four components together working together. So they have been successfully imported, and now what we need to do is, yeah, yeah. So now inside our source folder, we will create one file of the name .env, which will basically have the environmental variables that we do not want to publicly post inside our program, or you can say project. So where all the API keys and the APIs and all the things that are meant for secrecy and privacy for that particular project regarding any APIs or any secret keys and all, that will be placed inside this environmental folder .env folder, and automatically this git.ignore file has .env, .local, and these all folders, or you can say these are files that the git will basically ignore. So along with node module, so basically whatever we write inside this .env file, whatever we mention inside this env file will not be posted anywhere, even not on GitHub. So now what we need to do is we'll write react app API key, and now inside this we'll just give our API key and save it. Yeah, so now we will go to our browser, and there we can find the endpoints for our basically API, and this is for the random endpoint, and this will be used. Yeah. So now, when we go to our browser, for now we need to do check out for the API. So for that, we will go to that same browser, and inside that, we will check out this GIF API inside this docs, and there inside there we can find random trending endpoints along with random endpoints, search endpoints, and many more. So here we are interested in random endpoints for the random component, and in the random endpoints you can see GIF URL along with sticker URL. But here, because we are creating a GIF generator app, we'll copy this and we'll paste this along with the key. Let's paste it. I have already pasted the key. We have to just write this API along with question mark and then provide an API key equal to the API key. And when we press enter, we can find the data. And here, this is the basically the JSON data that we are getting. And whenever we refresh this data will automatically keep changing. So here you can see this URL has ID of DH6PPK. When we refresh, it will automatically change to CLR6X, and again we refresh, it will automatically change. So this is the data that will automatically keep on changing and generate a new random GIF. And whenever we click on any of the URL, we can yeah, and whenever we click on any of the URL, we can find the GIF that particular and whenever we click on this URL, we can find that URL to a GIF, to the GIF image, and it will keep on changing. So like if here this is Jessica Andrade Sport GIF by UFC, and when we refresh it, this is actually the raw JSON data. When we parse it and refresh it, we'll find a new ID along with a new URL. And when we click on the URL, we can find a new GIF. So it will automatically keep on generating, and this API will be using in our random component. And for the other component, that tag one, that inside that we will be using GIF with the search application, with the search feature. So yeah. Yeah, so now we will go to our app.js file, and here, since we have used this random and tag components, we can go to our random.js file, and inside this we will be using yeah. So now, when we go to our random.js JS file, we need to just get this API key, and that we can do by const. We can create a variable with the name API key, and inside this we will just write process dot env dot react app API key. So yeah, we'll do this, and we'll just save this. Yeah, and now next, that the thing that we're going to do is we'll create a use effect hook. Use One more thing before using the use effect hook, we need to import it first, and we'll basically import both use state as well as use effect hook. So use state comma use effect, and we will import this from React. Yeah, and now we can use our use effect return. Okay, parsing unexpected keyword token return. Yeah, so now in our random.js file, we will import both use state as well as use effect state along with use. So inside yeah, so now inside our random.js component, we'll import both use state as well as use effect hook. So use state along with use effect, and we will import this from our React file. And now we'll create useEffect hook and give it a name of maybe random. Sorry. So now we will create our useEffect hook, and that for that we will just write useEffect, and inside the useEffect we'll pass an arrow function, and it will have a dependency array. Initially the dependency array will be empty, and inside this we'll write const url is equal to, and we will provide the API that we have inside our URL. So instead of this API key, we can pass the variable that we will be using to get the API key from our environment variable .env. So before doing that, let's initially first keep this as it is and save it. Now inside this useEffect hook, we need to use Axios for getting the data from the API. And for using Axios, we need to first install Axios in our PC, or basically in our project. So we can do that by opening a new terminal, and inside this we will write npm install Axios, and we'll press enter. So now this command will start installing Axios, and it will take some time. You can see. Yeah. So now inside this useEffect hook, after we have installed this Axios, we can go in our package.json file and check if we have Axios in our project. Yeah, you can see Axios and along with its version. So now in our random.js file, we will import Axios also. Import Axios from Axios, and now we'll save it. And now inside this useEffect hook, basically what we're going to do is we will be using this Axios to fetch to get the data, and we can do it by creating a function of the name, maybe const, maybe you can say fetch, or you can say response, maybe, yeah, or response, and this will be an arrow function. One more thing, this response function will be asynchronous, so I'll mention an async keyword after this response, and async, yeah. And now inside this we'll paste this URL. Okay, and now we need to get this data, so I'll write const and we'll destructure the data. Basically this is the data that we are getting from that API, and we'll use axios.get because we are getting the data, or you can say fetching the data. And inside this we'll just place the URL, and since this is an this axios.get will return a promise, so we need to specify an await keyword also, and now it will work. After that we can console.log data, yeah, and now we can save it. And after that we need to call this function response, yeah. Yeah, so now when we go to a browser in the GIF, we can see initially there is no console. We are not getting any values because we need to basically, you can say, run this React server once again. So for that, let me delete this terminal, and I'll again do I'll actually open the terminal and write npm start, and it will again start because we have created this environment variable. So for that, yeah. So now when we go to our browser, we can see when we open our console, we can see an object, and when we click on that object, we can find all the data that we were getting previously here. So now we can use this data for our project. So for that, um, what we can do is we will be going back to our random.js file, and yeah, so now we need to get the GIF for our project, and for that, first of all, let's go to a browser and open our console. And inside this object, we need to first filter out where the image, actually the source file, or you can say the URL link of that image is present, or you can say that GIF is present. So for that, this object has a data as well as a meta. So inside the data, when we go, we have images, and inside the images also, we'll be having downsize large, and the downsize large will have a URL. And when we like we can say copy this URL and paste it somewhere anywhere in the um, browser, we can get the GIF. So you can see this is the Eurospin GIF, and this GIF we will be using in our project. Basically, this will automatically change based on the number of times we have refreshed the application. And so for that, first of all, we need to go to our random.js file, and inside this, we need to other than console.logging this data, we can we need to first use we need to have a state variable for setting the value of that GIF. So for that, we'll write const GIF and set GIF, and initially this will be set to an empty string, because this will contain the URL. And now we will do set GIF to nothing but data dot images dot down. One second, let first of all, let's check exactly what is the what are the names of the files. Data, then images, then downsized large. So I'll write downsized large, and then URL. And this we will set this data will be set to set GIF. Well, basically the GIF variable will have an updated value of GIF set to this particular data. And now we can do also one more thing. This looks a bit clumsy. We can write make this data inside a variable like const image, and we will set this GIF to this image. We can either do like this also. So now now inside our return statement, we need to like maybe give this a text of random GIF, and just below that we can give an image tag of maybe width of 500 pixels. You can just write 500 here, and we'll give it a source of this exact. Actually, here we will not be using curly quotes. Inside this, we'll just give GIF, and we'll just close this image tag. And when we go, we can see a new random GIF we are getting. Whenever we refresh, random GIF will again be found. Yeah, here you can see this is another random GIF. So we are getting our GIF. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we'll go back to our file, and now the next thing that we're gonna do is we'll give this, maybe we can give it an alternate of anything like GIF. That does not really matter. The next thing that we're going to do is we will be giving it a button of maybe having an on click, and inside this on click we will be giving it a function like maybe handle click, and this button will have click me written on it, click me, or you can say click for new GIF, and handle click is not defined. So for that we need to define const handle click, and this will be again an arrow function. And now we need to give the same functionality to this handle click also, and that can be done by just removing this whole response function outside this use effect, and maybe I can declare it here. And now inside this handle click we can again use the response function, and this same functionality can be seen here. So when we go to our browser, we can see click for new GIF, and here originally there is a GIF, and when we click on it we can see a new GIF. So this functionality is done. The designing part will be left for we can do at the end of the project creation. So yeah, so now the next functionality will be for the tag.js file, and inside this tag.js file we will so inside this tag.js file we will copy this whole code from here, and actually we can do one more thing. We can just select all, copy and paste it here, and but instead of random I'll be having tag here along with tag, and yeah, one more thing, we will be creating one more useState value of tag, and we will set it to set tag, and initially this will be again set to useState, and initially it will be empty string. Yeah, and now in the this all thing will be the same. Instead we will go below, and here in this random.js it was the class name was random. So here instead of random we will write tag, and from here we will write we'll remove this h1 tag and write, yeah, inside this h1 tag we will use random, and r will be capital, and after random we will give this a dynamic value of tag. Basically tag will be the value that we have written inside this the text field, and it will just say random tag. So now yeah, so yeah, we can write also gif, yeah. So random tag GIF, and like in place of tag there can be dog, cat, anything like random cat GIF, random dog GIF. So this will be the heading along with the image width and all, and there will be an handle click button like it was before, and they click for new GIF. Instead of this we will have input, basically for getting the value of whatever is written. So input, I'll write input here, and input then we will write value, and inside the value we will just give the value of tag, and then we will write a function of onChange, and this onChange will have a variable e, or you can say event e, that will be writing set tag to e.target.value, e.target.value, and now we will save this like this, yeah. And when we go to our browser we can see here a text field along with the click for new GIF. So whatever we have written in the text field, that we need to for that particular thing we need to get the GIFs, and this click for new GIF functionality will remain the same. It will just give a new random GIF. So yeah, let's get back to our project, and Yeah, so now after setting the value of this set tag to e.target.value, then basically we will use this response function to change the value as per the requirement of the tag. Like if we want to see the GIFs of a cat, then for that the tag value will be cat, and this tag value we need to send via a parameter in this response function, which will be uh, which we can find it in this asynchronous function here, and we can use that exact parameter, or you can say maybe that value of that parameter into this API, and likewise we'll get the data of that API, and we can use that to set the GIF to the newly produced image, and we can use that GIF inside our project. So for that, inside this response we will just send. Yeah, so now we will basically send a tag to this asynchronous function, and inside this URL we need to make some extensions, like we will write here and after that we'll write tag is equal to, and we will set this to a dynamic value of tag. So whenever whatever the value that we have selected for this tag, for that particular value, this API will basically give the data for that particular tag. So let's check this out once. I'll copy this API and use it in our browser. So I'll open a browser and I'll paste this, and instead of this tag I'll just write anything like maybe dog, and when I press enter key, then I'll get a JSON data for a GIF of a dog. So yeah, it is taking some time because this is happening asynchronously. 1 second. Yeah, so I got the image of a dog, and here in the URL when I click it, I'll be directed to a GIF of a dog. So yeah, this is a dog of GIF of a dog, and whenever we change this tag to any other animal, the JSON data will automatically change. Like if I change it from dog to cat and press enter, then automatically the JSON data that we get will change, and when we press on this URL we'll get a GIF of a cat. So now the next thing that we're gonna do is give the functionality of adding a particular text and a particular word, and regarding that we will get a GIF. So for that, this is just for getting the random GIF, and it comes from the random.js function, where we are just getting the random value here from the handle click function. Whenever we press handle click, this response function automatically runs, and inside this a random GIF, this JSON data is fetched in the URL, which is then accessed in the data, and then inside that data we get the URL of that image and set the GIF to that image. And here we use an image tag, inside which in the place of source we put that GIF. So from here, this is the way we are using the random value for the GIF. But for getting a specific value, that we are doing in tag.js file, and inside this file we are basically having an input field, and which has a value of tag, and we are giving it an onChange function, and when whatever we are writing inside that input, that is e.target.value, that we are automatically setting it to the tag value, and by the use of set tag useState hook. And then when we press the button handle click, as soon as we press it, this handle click function will have a response which will just go inside this response and accept a parameter tag, and this tag will be used inside this URL by the which will specifically give a data for a particular GIF regarding that tag. So that likewise we'll get the image of a GIF, or you can say the data of the data or image of the data for a particular thing that you have written. That is the tag. But the thing is, when we are giving this the response, calling this response function, we are not passing any value, but here it is accepting a value of tag. So let's pass tag value to it, and even in this, let's pass tag. Okay, so now whenever this use effect hook runs, initially the value of this response will be set to tag, and the use state will be initially put to dogs. Let's keep it like this. So now initially the value of tags will be dogs, and when we go to our browser, we can see random dogs GIF. See, you can see the GIF of a dog, and it's automatically written here dogs because we have set the value of this input value to tag. So automatically dogs will be written inside this. Now when we write anything inside it like cats and click for new GIF, then we'll automatically get a GIF of a cat. So this is automatically happening because whatever the value that we have set, the set tag will set that value to will set the value of the tag to that value. And as soon as we click the handle click function, this handle click function will call the response function with the value of this tag, and likewise we'll get the value of the data or the image. Yeah, so now the functionality part is done, and we're only left with the designing part. But before designing, let's optimize this code by the use of custom hooks. So by the use of custom hooks, we can optimize this whole code and use a hook that is like created by our own, like we have created, that is custom hook, and we'll be using that hook inside these two components. So for that, let's create a hook of the name useGIF. Let's give it a name useGIF. Yeah, so let's give it a name useGIF usegif.js, and inside this we will write RAFCE and press enter. Now this useGIF will have a couple of things. Yeah, so inside this useGIF component, we will go to our tags.js component, copy all the code, and inside this useGIF component we'll just paste this whole code. So in this useGIF function, a couple of things we need to do is, first of all, we are not using React here, so we'll remove this React from this part. Other than that, since it is a useGIF function, we will write here useGIF along with we'll also export it also as a useGIF. Yeah, and this is, since this is a custom hook, we won't be having this JSX, so I'll remove this whole part. And now we will basically have a couple of things changed. One more thing, this custom hook will return a GIF that we'll be using inside our tag.js and random.js file. Basically here everywhere we are using GIF only. Inside, even inside random.js function, we are using a GIF, and as well as in tag.js function also we are using this variable GIF. So from this custom hook, our main aim is to return a GIF. So I'll write GIF, and now we'll be returning a GIF which we will use in this these two files. So now the next thing is we need to take this URL and just bring it at the top, and now we'll save it. But in this inside this URL, I'll remove this part, and I'll have only the main URL without any tags and all. And one more thing that we want to do is we'll remove this tag component, because we will be taking inside this useGIF a tag value, and this tag value will be used inside our URL as and when required. Even like if we have passed the tag, then the URL will modify as respect to that tag. But if we haven't passed the tag, then this will be the default URL. So now inside this response, which is an async function, we will not use axios.get URL, but we will basically use check if we have a tag or not. So if we write tag comma, like it is like we are checking if we have a tag, and if we have a tag, then we will write inside backticks dollar curly braces URL. And because our URL this is the URL, and inside if we have a tag, then this URL will be will be modified, and we will be using tag, and after that we will write tag is equal to our dynamic value of that tag. So like this. So if we have the tag, then the URL will be modified like this, and if we don't have, like else, then in that case, one more thing, this else will be outside this, then in that case we'll only use URL. So this is how we are going to use. We have used ternary operation, like we are checking if we have tag. If we have tag, then the URL will be this, and if we don't have tag, then in the else block we will have only the URL, the basic URL. So from here we'll get the data as and when as specified by the tag, and whatever, if we have provided a tag, then we'll get a data regarding with respect to that tag, and other than that we will get some random data, and regarding that data we'll get an image, and we'll set that GIF useState variable to that particular image, and this image only we are going to return, and this useEffect will have a response of tag, and this handle click function. Yeah. Yeah, so now inside this useGIF function, we will basically other than this we will have a tag value inside this dependency array for this useEffect hook, because whenever we will want whenever the value of a tag to change, automatically this the value of that, or you can say the GIF should change as soon as we type it out in our input field, whatever thing that we want the GIF to be. Like if we type out cat inside that text field, as soon as we type cat, we want the GIF to update. So for that case we will change the dependency array to tag. So as soon as the tag value changes, this useEffect hook will run, and it will automatically run the response function with the tag value, and this response function is nothing but this, which will accept this tag value, and this will fetch the data and set the value of the GIF to a particular image. So yeah, this will happen like that, and this tag we are getting from the other tag.js value, because from there we are using this tag as a inside this custom hook useGIF, and we'll get the value as required. And one more thing, we do not require this handle click function, so remove this. Yeah, so now our custom hook is done, and now we need to make some changes inside random.js and tag.js for using this useGIF. Yeah, one more thing, we need to because we not only require this GIF, because there will be time when we are sending tag to this useGIF value, and we need to also call a fetch GIF function in case of random.js, which will only fetch the value. For that case, we will be basically returning both the value of this GIF as well as fetch GIF, or you can say response. So I'll have to do it like this, comma response, and I'll close it. Yeah, so now both of our GIF as well as response will work, and mainly this response function, this is also what we are returning. So now what we are going to do is we'll go to our tag.js file, and now we'll make a couple of changes. Yeah, so now in our tag.js file, we need to make a couple of changes, and first of all we will be removing this. Yes. Yeah, so now inside our tag.js file, we are not using useEffect hook, because we are already using it in our useGIF JS custom hook. So we need not use this in our tag.js file. So we'll remove this useEffect hook along with the importing part of this useEffect hook. We'll also remove that, and we'll save it. And now inside our useGIF, we had the response function, where we basically took the data from the JSON data from that API, and pasted it inside our data variable. So basically the fetching part also we did in the useGIF component. So we simply do not need that in our tag.js file. So we'll remove this whole response part from our normal tag.js file, and we will also have this handle click removed, because we are also not doing that. This handle click functionality will also be not done. We will not also not do that. One more thing, we need to import our useGIF, this custom hook in our program. So import useGIF from useGIF, and since we are not using Axios here, we will remove that. Now when we save it, we can see this useGIF is not being used. So for that we need to use it, and instead of this on click function that is basically running the handle click function, we will just run an arrow function inside it, where we will basically have a response function to be run that will accept the parameter tag. And when we save it, we can see now we can use this response that we got from our useGIF. And when we go to our useGIF, we can see we are returning a GIF and GIF as well as a response. Basically we are returning the function that we are gonna use for fetching the data, as well as we are also returning the exact image or the GIF that we are going to use. So inside in the tag.js file, now what we will be doing is we will create this set GIF, and GIF will be a custom hook, because this is the value that we are using for our useGIF component as in form of a custom hook. So we will be having this curly braces inside of this const variable, and now instead of this set GIF here, we'll have the response function to be destructured, and here we will not use useState, we will use useGIF, and inside this useGIF we will have tag. Yeah. So now basically what is happening is when we go to our useGIF function, functional component, this useGIF component will return two values. One will be GIF and the other will be the response function. And now in our tag.js file, whenever we click the button, we will automatically run the response function, which we were getting from this useGIF component custom hook that we have created there. So that useGIF component will have a particular tag value that we will be passing to our you can say to this useGIF component, and for that particular value of this useGIF, we will be returning the useGIF will return two values. One will be for the GIF and the other will be for the response, and automatically those two values will be will get inside this GIF as well as this response variable, and we will use that in our JSX structuring of this return statement. So now, yeah, one more thing, this response is not actually working because the value that we have used inside useGIF.js, that has the response function with r small. So inside our tag.js file, we will be using response with the small r, as well as this response function will also be small r. Now when we save it, it will work. Okay, so now let's build our random.js file, and this will be much more smaller. So here we will not be using useEffect, as well as Axios, we will also not use that. Inside this we will be having this GIF and this response will be not be present along with the useEffect and the handle click. At first of all, let's remove this, and this handle click function will also be not there, and this will just have, instead of this on click function, we will run an arrow function, and inside this arrow function we will inside this arrow function we will use this ru custom hook, and inside this custom we have to import our custom hook here. So I'll use import use gif from use gif, and we will also call it so uh, const, and we will have gif as well as response from use gif, and that will have a value of tag, and this will have response, and inside the response we will give it a value of tag. Now we need to have add an we need to add a handle click functionality where we click on this button and we automatically get the value. So for that, and also there are some errors like identified gif has been already been declared. So that's so in that case we will be having, yeah. So now one more thing, inside our random.js function, functional component, we do not need to have this use state hook, because we're automatically setting the value of the of our basically use gif. We are using that value, and here we do not need to have a tag variable, because random, in case of random, we will not be using any tag. So here we will remove this whole tag part, and it will be just like this. We can even remove this on click, and now so now for this random, what will happen is whenever we click another response, the response from this use gif will run, and from this use gif, what the response will be nothing but the function, and this, since this, we haven't passed any value to this use gif without any tag, so this use gif will not have any value of tag. So inside our response also we won't be using any tag. So here inside this axis.get, it will simply go like, if we don't have tag, then else block will only fetch the value of url, and it will work for the url only. So this is basic functionality of the project. Now we can check also, like when we refresh, we can see two random gifs, and initially the value of this gif of a particular thing is set to dogs. So because initially inside our use gif we have the value, because inside our tag.js we have the initial value of the tag to be set to dogs, so that's why it's showing like that. And now if we change this from dogs to cats, then it will automatically change to cats. You can see cats, and now I can click for new gif also, and it will like automatically change to a new cat gif. So and once again if we click, then a new cat gif will pop up, and here it is doing it for only the random gif. Here this is one gif, and the other gif, once again the functionality, yeah, you can see this is another gif. So it is working. So our project is done, we just need to do the designing part. So we'll do that in the next lecture. Yeah, so now we are only left with the designing part, and when we go to our browser, we can see our project uh, along with the heading as well as the random GIF. And we also have a particular GIF that we want, and by default it's set to dogs. So we are getting here a dogs GIF. So now let's design our whole application, because that's the only part we are left with. So first of all, let's go to our app.js file, and and now one first of all, let's design the heading of our app. So for that, we'll go to our header.js file, and inside this header.js file we have a class name of header. So we'll target this header file, class name, and like write header, give it a text align of center, text align, sorry, text align, and we'll set it to center. And now when we save it, we can see text has been aligned to the center. Yeah, so now when we go to our browser, we can see our heading aligned to the center. So now let's increase the size of this font by using font size. One second, font size, and let's set it to maybe 40 pixels. I think 40 pixels will get much bigger, so let's make it 30 pixels. So now yeah, now this looks fine. And we'll also change the font family of it. So let's target the font family and set it to maybe, let's see, Courier New. Yeah, this is fine, I think. This looks fine with the like the random GIF generator. This font looks funky and it is cool, I think. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set a background color of our browser. So let's make a background color and let's set it to somewhat light, maybe aquamarine, and make its shade a little lighter. So for that, I'll just hover over it. Yeah, so now we'll set a lighter shade of this color, maybe this much, and I'll save it and let's see how does it look. Yeah, this looks fine. And now in this we will first of all we can do one thing. This whole div of having this random GIF and the random dogs GIF, both we can make it in a flex manner. So for that we'll go to our app.js file, and this app.js file will have has a main div that has both random and tag components. So we can target this main div and we can set its display to flex. So let's target this main div, div, yeah, I think this is the name, main div, yeah. And I'll set this its display to flex and I'll save it. Yeah, so now when we go to our browser, we can see both of the divs together, like left and right. Now the next thing that we can do is provide some margin with the header for both of these two divs. So for that let's get the header, give the header some margin bottom of 40 pixels, and we'll save it. And yeah, this no, let's give it some more margin, maybe 70 pixels, and yeah, now it's fine. One more thing, we can provide also a margin auto from both the sides to this main div. So give it a margin of auto. Sorry, this we can do also one thing, that we'll go to our random.js, and this random.js has a class of itself with the name random. So we can individually target this random also, but let's do one thing. Let's go to our random class, and inside this random class I'll target the button and give this button maybe size of, maybe height of 20 pixels and the width of 40 pixels. And now when we save it, we can see this has a height, but this now does not look good and it is very small in size. So let's give it a width of 100 pixels and a height of 40 pixels, and let's save it. And now yeah, and now we can see this has a this button is now big in size. And one more thing, when we see our random JS component, we can see this image. Just after the image we have a button. So what can we do to make that button just go down the GIF? Yeah. So now what we need to do is we can put give this button. We need to give this get this button in the center of this, you can say, this component. And for that we can do is, first of all, let's target this button and give it a margin bottom of 20 pixels, and let's see what happens. One second. 60 maybe. Okay, so we can do one thing. We can remove this and let's give that button a class of itself, maybe a class name of random b, and I'll save it. Yeah. So we can do one thing. We can either target the button like this, or we can either use simply the button random b and save it. That will also be same for them for this case, because it is the same class. And since we have displayed everything in flex, so this is all the things are right to each other. They are all displayed in the flex manner. Now let's design our button. So for designing the button, we can do one thing. We can give it a background color of maybe blue violet, and make its shade a little lighter like this. And now when we save it, we can see a little lighter shade of this button. One more thing, we can also add a margin left of maybe 20-30 pixels, so it will be shifted to the right by 20-30 pixels. And we can also do one thing. We can give this whole random div margin of left of 40 pixels. Now when we save it, we can see it has been shifted in the right side. And we can also make this whole main div display flex, as well as justify content space around maybe. Let's see. Yeah, this looks better. Maybe space between. Let's see this. Yeah. So now let's check out for space between. And let's see what happens if we do space between. Okay, so it is better if we use space around and save it. Now let's first give this transition of 2-second ease and a background. Yeah, no, this much will be fine. And let's make a random make this random b have a hover effect. So for that I'll just write hover, and inside this I'll write transition of 2 seconds ease along with a background color of blue violet, but it will be a little darker. Yeah, so now let's give it a darker tone, maybe this much, and I'll save it. Yeah, so now after this, when we go to our button, we can see an animated effect on the button. But we need to do one thing. Let's give it a color of white. And now if we save it, we can see the colors will also change. and we can also provide it a margin, maybe border radius of uh, maybe 10 pixels. And now 10, but one thing, I should keep both of the random button as well as the hover part have a border radius of 10 pixels, so it won't change. And now if we go to a browser, we can see a hover effect without any change of button. However, this 2 second is like it is like looking a little bit slow, so let's make it 1 second for both of them. 1 second, one, and now save it. Now we can see the transition will be faster. Yeah, and let's also make the random b have a pointer, cursor to pointer. Same with this. And now if we save it, we can see this beautiful effect on it. Now let's work on the random GIF of this, the header part of our random JS tag, this h1 tag. So we can do that by either we can give it a class name, or we can just give this random h1, the h1 tag of this random class name, uh, maybe a font size of 20 pixels. And if we see, we can see the font size is changing. So let's make it 30. Yeah, and let's also give this a font family of um, maybe Cambria. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. We can also do one thing, text align center. Let's see this, what happens. No, this is actually getting more towards the right. So let's do one thing. Let's give it a color. Maybe the color is fine. I think the black color is fine. And this is actually getting a little bit more in the right side. So we can also do one thing. We can provide it a margin bottom of 10-20 pixels, and then there will be a margin at the bottom of it, of this GIF. And now we can also check for the margin right to be like 60 pixels. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's getting this side, so let's make it 100 and see. Maybe 140 pixels. Yeah, now it's aligned at the center of this GIF. Let's do the same for the other GIF also. For that, basically go to our tag.js file and get the target this tag class name. So tag, and let's give this tag a h1 heading of same font size of 30 pixels, along with font family of Cambria, and text align center, and then margin bottom 30 pixels along with margin right 140 pixels. Now let's check what is the positioning of this. It's a little bit more right side, so let's give it a margin of 190 pixels and see. No, maybe 260 pixels. Yeah, now it's aligned at the center. And now let's design the this input input part for this, you can say this random docs GIF part. And the positioning of this we can do it later. So first let's do that. And for that we need to go to our tag.js file, and inside this tag.js file we will have we have this input button, and we can target it like we can write tag and then input. And for this we will basically give it a width of maybe 80 pixels and see what happens. No, this is very small. Let's give it a width of 190 pixels. Yeah, and maybe 150 will be fine. And we can give it a you can say height of 60 pixels. Let's see what happens now. No, this doesn't look good. 30 pixels. Let's see. Still it is not looking that good, so let's leave it like that only and save it. Yeah, let's design the button part. And for the button, what we can do is, first of all, let's give this a margin left of 30 pixels, and then it will get shifted towards the left. And we need this click for new GIF to be just below this, you can say this text field. So for that, one more thing, the text inside it should also be at the center. So let's give this a text align of center, and let's see what happens now. Yeah, the dogs is coming in the middle. And we need to design this GIF also, this button also. So for that, what we can do is, yeah, so we can do one thing. To get this down, we need to create a separate div for it and work on that div. So let's make one more, an extra div with the name, class name of same random b, and I'll remove this buttons class name, and I'll save it and just keep this inside this div. And now when we save it, you can see this is already gone down, but it's not displaying the way I wanted because it's working on the div. So for that, I'll just go in app.css file and just target the button of this. Now the button, it will become the button, but the hover effect is for the whole div. So we'll also give the random b, specifically the button of this to have a hover effect. Let's see now. Yeah, now it's gone down, and now we can exclusively give this a margin top of 30 pixels, and margin left of for 50 pixels. And let's see what happens. Okay, nothing happens. I think that's because let's copy this and remove it, and let's work on that random b and give this margin. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, it's gone a little bit down. And likewise, we can give this a more margin left, and it will get aligned to the center more, 160 pixels. Yeah, now it's at the center. Now we'll do the similar thing with this text field as well as this button also. And how can we do that is by just going into our tag.js file and giving this input a div, a separate div of, I'll save this, and inside this I'll give this div a class name of tag input. Yeah, and I'll work on this tag input dot tag Yeah, I hope the name is correct. Tag input, yeah. So for this tag input, I can let's see first what has happened. Okay, yeah, it's gone down, but this size of the tag image is very large. So let's give this also a height of 400 and save this. Yeah, now both of them have the same size, and this is also came down. Now um, this div of tag input, we will basically do one thing. We can design it, and we can just go to our app.css file, and this tag input we can give it a maybe font, sorry, text align of center, and I'll save this. Remove this. Let's remove this. 1 second. Let's remove this and give this a width of 150 pixels. 150 pixels and save this. Okay. Because this is not a this is just a div, so this width of 150 pixels is not working. For that, I can do one thing. I can like tag input. I can target the input field of this and give this a width of 150 pixels, and now it will work. Yeah, let's do this for maybe 550 pixels and see what happens. Yeah, this is working, so I'll remove this from 150 to 200 and save this. Okay, now let's give this maybe margin of auto. Let's see what happens if we do margin auto. Nothing. Okay, so let's give this a margin left of 160 pixels. Yeah, now it's shifted to the center, and I can give this a text align of center and remove this from the div. And now if we see, yeah, that this is in the center. Now the next thing that we can do is target um, target the button, and for that I can create a different div of class name tag button, tag b, and I'll copy this button and just place it inside this, save it, and now, yeah, now this button, we can work on that button. So how can we do that? For that, we can just open our css file, target the tag b, and give it a margin left of 50 pixels. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'll make it 100 and 180. Let's see, 200. Sorry, yeah. Now somewhat center. Let's make it 210. Okay. Now we can do one more thing. We can give it a margin top of 30 pixels, and now there will be some margin. I think 30 pixels is like a very much, so yeah, 10 pixels is fine. Yeah, now this looks fine. We can also give this input a margin top of 10 pixels, so it will go a little more down. And now I'll design the button for this random dog GIF also the same. One more thing, this random dog GIF has been aligned to is not at the center, so I need to do that also. So I'll go for random h1 and give it a margin right of 100 pixels and see. Okay, maybe 80. 10. Yeah, it's working. And sorry, I'll also do the same for this random dogs GIF that is actually tag h1. So I'll give this a margin right of 200 pixels and let's see what happens. Yeah, it's moving. So I'll give it a margin of 150 pixels, 100, 70, 40, 20, maybe 10. I think 10 will work in the middle. Yeah. Now both of them are aligned in the middle, and let's design the button. So for designing the button, we can target the button by this tag B is actually the div. It's actually the div for that button. So I'll just do tag B, and for the button of this, I'll give the same dimensions as the other one. This random B button. I'll just copy paste this whole thing and we'll save this. Yeah. Let's add a hover effect also. Let's remove the margin left from 30 to 10 pixels. Yeah. And now let's add a hover effect also for this tag B button hover. And inside this hover, we will basically copy paste this whole thing and now if we see, we can see the transition effect on both of them. Yeah. Now this div is not, this input field is not looking good. So let's work on that. So for the input field, that is tag input, I'll give it a background color of white. Sorry, white. And now if we save it, we can see white. One more thing we can do is we can give it a or border radius of 10 pixels and it will look better. And yeah, so now this looks fine. We can also do one thing. We can provide this footer, you can say center, well, like put this footer at the center. So for that, I'll target the footer class name and just give it a text align of center. Yeah. So this looks fine. This font is also looking kind of neat, and yeah, our project is complete.